Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week is going to be a double feature.
You're going in! 3, 2, 1, go!
So what I mean by double feature is that I'm going to be giving you a somewhat thrown together overview of weeks 12 and 13. So we'll jump right into it. Basically the only thing I have from week 12 is my 14-mile long run, so here you go. We're running about 15 minutes late because we got out here and I forgot my watch, so I had to go back home and get it. Alright, we're out here for 14 miles. I'm by myself. But we'll chat about any random things I happen to think of. But I am excited. This is my last long effort before Chickamauga, and Chickamauga is my last proof of time race, so I just gotta get through these couple of weeks. And then it's smooth sailing just for fun races for the rest of the time. Alright, my watch has found me. I'm gonna get this started since I'm running late. A little over 4 miles in. Whew. I'm feeling this might be like my last long run where I don't feel much like doing this. Just focusing on getting it done, but whew. Temperature's good. Feeling okay. Whew. I just don't know about this proof of time. I'll be positive, but I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't happen for me. We'll see. Well, I did 14, about 11 and a half in. I just had to quit the intervals. This is, I'm hoping that the Chickamauga course is not as hilly as these little loops that I do here around town, but my legs hurt so bad. I'm definitely gonna go sit in our hot tub, and I might even, after I sit in the hot tub for a bit, step down into the pool, which I know is cold, and get a little cold action, get some inflammation. My left knee, the back of it doesn't feel too bad where I normally get that inflammation, but I got that like floating kneecap sensation where I can tell there's inflammation in my left knee. So see, at this point, it is what it is. The race is in 2 weeks. There's not much I can do except just try to keep everything fresh and keep inflammation down at this point. So we'll see. Let's go home and get some recovery, and I did not bring enough hydration for as warm as it got today. So I'm gonna go find some liquid. This is your first time at the beach. You wanna go see the water? Do you wanna go see the water? I think you do. You've never been to the beach before. Scout, you ready to go home? You ready to go back home? Go back home to Georgia? You ready to go home? So we're driving back from Florida, and one of the best things about traveling, this is an excuse to go to McDonald's and get the 100 Happy Meal. So we're gonna see what we got. Are you kidding? You're joking.
What?
Okay, take 2 on the Happy Meal mystery toy situation. I actually checked the box this time. We're back home. Checked the box before I drove away, and I did actually get what I was supposed to get this time. So let's see what we got. Tiana, how sweet. And then Grogu. Oh my gosh. Okay, And it does seem, I saw this on somebody else's Instagram, that the boxes have numbers. So I'm assuming that there's, since I think there's 62 different figurines, that there's 31 different boxes. So like Tiana and Grogu will always be together. So just a little tip. We'll see what other fun ones we can get. Hello. Happy Thursday. I think today's Thursday. Oh, a turkey crossing. Okay. Oh gosh, there's a lot of turkeys. Okay, let's let them all cross. Okay. Hopefully that's all of them. Sadie, it's okay. So Sadie and I are heading out to take a little 2-mile run, just a really easy. Yes, I am wearing a very fuzzy hat because my car is currently reading 36 and it is 10:36 in the morning. I looked at the weather for my half marathon proof of time race next week, and there's a real chance it won't be that much warmer probably than it is right now. Maybe in the 40s. So I was hoping it would be a little bit warmer, but so I got to figure out. One of the things I struggle with when it comes to running is what to wear when it's freezing. And, you know, especially on a race where I'm trying to get a proof of time, not wearing too much that I have to deal with taking stuff off while I'm running and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. Yesterday I did an easy 5K pace workout on the treadmill. And of course you saw before all that we were traveling a little bit. So I lost a couple of days of running because I didn't have time. But this week is supposed to be an easy week. I'll have another workout tomorrow that I'm going to do another half marathon pace practice. And then 4-mile quote-unquote long run. And then we start really mentally preparing for the race next week. So I will catch up with you tomorrow, but enjoy these little clips of running with Sadie, which is always fun. What a good girl! So I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. I'm on my phone, so sorry if it's shaky, but my left hip and lower back have been hurting, and I don't know if it's from riding in the car all the way to Florida and back 2 days very close together, but it hurts pretty good, and I'm like too close to a race for this to be like, oh, we'll get over it. So I'm icing my hip and my lower back right now, and I've got this little girl came and laid down right next to me. She brought her blanket. She's so sweet. So running with Sadie is always super fun. After that, I went back out to our dam there and tried to do another race pace practice. And my GPS, I'll insert a picture here, my GPS jumped all over the place, which is super annoying because I couldn't actually tell if I was running at the pace I needed to be running at. But then I went back out again on Saturday. Actually, not at the dam. I went to another one of my favorite trails and did another race pace practice. That one went much better. GPS didn't jump. I don't know about this half marathon. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do what I need to do to get the time that I need. I don't feel as confident going into this one as I did the 10K. But we'll just give it a go, and I feel like if I just stay in the mile that I'm running in and not think about that I have to do that particular pace 13 times, we might be okay. I'm nervous because I haven't never done the half marathon before. I don't know what to expect, but I've asked my friends that have done it about like the different surfaces. Is it paved, not paved? And majority of it is paved, which is good because I have no balance. But anyway, so we'll wrap this double feature video up with our chapter from Hello, My Name Is. We're coming so close to the end, and this last chapter I really enjoyed, and it's called Grace Wins Every Time, which is a line from a song that he has called Grace Wins. There's a line in it that says, "Here comes those whispers in my ears saying, who do you think you are? Looks like you're on your own from here. Grace could never reach that far. And he tells, I'm not going to share everything because I would love for you just to buy your own copy and read the different personal stories that he shares from people that he's met at concerts and his own stories. But the guy that he wrote that song for, he shares that story at the very beginning, and it has to do with, you know, addiction and letting that addiction define who he is and not feeling like he could ever be redeemed. But of course he could and was, and is leading other people to that redemption now, which is great. But he goes into talking about guilt versus grace. And it was funny because we actually talked about this in my Sunday school this morning. But he says, while we would tend to think that sin is what keeps us from embracing our identity in Christ, guilt actually is the enemy's craftiest of tricks. If sin is what knocks us down, then guilt is what keeps us down. Guilt and grace share only one thing. They both want our attention. Beyond that, they stand in stark contrast to one another, as opposite as Scripture says. Choosing between the two is a matter of life or death to our spiritual lives. And he goes on to give examples. Guilt says you're broken beyond repair. Grace says get ready to be healed beyond belief. Guilt says you've gone too far. Grace says you're just one step away from home. Guilt says you're nothing but damaged goods. Grace says you're something good in the making. And he goes on and on. There's several more examples. Satan wants us to believe in his guilt lies over God's grace truth, because then we'll believe that our sins and mistakes disqualify us from receiving anything good from our Father in heaven. Satan knows that if he can lower our eyes, we'll remain focused on what we've done instead of what God has done for us. When all we see is what we've done, things sure start to look hopeless in a hurry. Grace invites us to stop looking at our sin and start fixing our eyes on Jesus, who endured the cross. And that's from Hebrews 12. And he shares another a personal story about how he was, he grew up as a pastor's kid, and they watched like an older version of Left Behind. And once he saw that movie, whenever he couldn't find his parents, he was always afraid he was left behind. So he was like daily asking for forgiveness and that redemption, just to make sure that he was covered. He was young, but it's a funny story. But then he goes on to say, as I have been under spiritual construction in the years since those childhood days, I'm learning that being a work in progress doesn't mean I'm not a new creation. I love this because I feel like a lot of times if we think we're not doing everything perfectly, that it's just a lost cause, but it really isn't. I cannot live afraid that with every wrong turn I've lost what I once had found. From eternity to eternity, I am God. No one can snatch anyone out of my hand. No one can undo what I have done. That's from Isaiah 43:13. So he closes with, as a new creation, you are free to start dreaming a new dream. You are not a finished product. God is refining you day by day, renewing you moment by moment. You are loved, you are forgiven, you are a new creation, and you are free to dream a new dream. I love that, like it says, we're not a finished product, and we won't be finished until we're standing with God in heaven. And that's cool to me because it means that we're always going to be learning something new about who God is, because there's no way in our, earthly form that we can comprehend everything that He is. So I love that idea, and that, none of us is perfect, but we can continually strive. It's like, if we're going to relate it to running, we're always constantly challenging ourselves, setting new goals. And I don't think, for those of us that really, like me, I don't know, I won't stop doing this until I'm told that I probably, health-wise, cannot do it anymore. But I'm going to be constantly setting new goals for myself, and I'll never feel done. And I think it's like that with our Christian walk, too. That we are constantly learning, constantly striving. We'll never be done until we meet in heaven. So it's a good one. And like I said, that's the last chapter. I think that was chapter 10, the last chapter in that middle section. We've got one more section to go. But next week we'll take a break off of this, because next week, like I mentioned, is half marathon week, so we'll be traveling over there. We're taking the RV and the dogs, and it's not too far away from where I am, which is nice. But I'll share all the things that'll happen, and fingers crossed I get my proof of time. But we're gonna give it our best, and that's all that I can ask of myself, and to know that I did my best. And I will say that sometimes I will give myself excuses and not do my best. So it's something that I always have to challenge myself with, is to push myself where I know I can be pushed, if that makes sense. So I hope everyone's doing well. As I'm doing this right now, it is Wine and Dine Half Marathon Day. Everyone's done by now, but I hope that if you ran at Wine and Dine, you had a great time. I mean, the themes were awesome, the medals looked awesome. I can't wait to go to Wine and Dine one day and get to run that weekend and do the after party, and it's on my list. I think it's a couple of years from now that I have it kind of slated budget-wise that I want to do Wine and Dine, but I hope everyone had a great time that was there. For everyone that's training for marathon weekend, I hope that that's going well, and that, I don't know where you are in your plan, how high those miles are, but I remember back then, you know, at that time I had never ran that far before, when we got to like 15, 16, 17, all the way up to 20. I feel like there may have been the 20-mile run right about now, because I remember doing it and then going to watch one of my stepkids run at one of their big races, and that would have been right about now. But oh my goodness, those miles, you'll appreciate having that time on your feet once you get to marathon weekend, I can tell you that. Be sure to give this video a like, give me a comment if you ran at Wine and Dine, which theme was your favorite, what's your favorite thing to do at the after party. Be sure to subscribe. Chickamauga is going to be fun. I don't know how much video I'll get during the race, but I definitely will show as much as I can while still trying to get that proof of time. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece, and I'll see you at Chickamauga. I've been trying to get the McDonald's Happy Meal toys, so this is how we're doing so far. Maribel is my favorite. She's so sweet.